Okie dokie 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 dokie. I'm coming back. I'm not doing any of the. Sometimes this happens. I explained this before, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, sometimes I don't have any control over it. My computer will freeze up on me at times when I'm doing my show. So it's something we have to live with. I mean, unless I find a nice computer guru. If you're a computer guru out there that knows what the frig's going on and why my whole thing would freeze up when that happens, but it's very frustrating when it does because I'm just that way. I like the a show to be together, encapsulated in the one moment. I don't like to have to go back and redo, but unfortunately, this is what happened today. So I'm not taking down the first part, so this will be part two, and we'll pick up where I left off. And when I was speaking, I was talking about not believing in countries and boundaries and flags and all that kind of stuff, and I was saying it's great about having our traditions, and I understand why we have our attachment to those things, but generally, it's propaganda, is really what I was getting to. That's when I kind of got cut off. Like I was going to say, it's basically, it is in a way, it's a shame because like, I think what happens in our world, unfortunately takes away from, they use our emotions and that want of togetherness and and community, and they manipulate it in a sense, right? So that's why when was speaking about everything, what I was talking about, is what's going on, even like with the Middle East and such. I hate, like, and I said, wanted to preface this because I kind of, I feel like the U.S. are really, they're not the good guys in a way. It's a shame to say, like, because I'm a United States citizen. I'm not against this country. I'm not trying to tear down the country or anything, but I just mean, really, we're like imperialists. We got bases all over the place, and we're all of a sudden, didn't send anything really over with Ukraine and all that. Now all of a sudden, 2 aircraft carriers, and they're sending Marines and their troops and everything, for this area. And why? Why? Because, it ultimately all comes down, to money. And you see all these countries that are coming together over in those areas and such with the BRICS nations and everything, wanting to get away from the U.S. dollar. So, this is like just a way of, forcing control to maintain the economic stronghold that, these bastards have, basically, that control, that control all of us. So, I mean, I guess I probably would have explained it a little better if I didn't get interrupted, and had to restart my whole computer, and my brain kind of went into a different direction, because you know how it is. Once I get on a tangent, that's what it is. But the point of today's show is about not making excuses, right? So we're aware of what's going on out there in the world. We can plainly see that things are not how they were before, and even what they were before wasn't good anyway, really, right? So, we were just kind of lulled to sleep and crap. We always knew we were, polluting the planet. We always knew that we were, really living beyond our means in a sense of through products and such, like, always about things, always about, whatever, instead of like real community, right? They try to build community around, crap like, even, as much as I've spoken on this before, that I enjoy, watching football on Sundays or something, but, they build a community around something like that. Everybody gets together for that event, but that event is a propaganda in itself too, right? Created to appease the masses, to sedate the masses, it's like the opiate of the masses, the sports. It's like, I think they used to say religion was the opiate of the masses, and that goes back to, what I was saying too. I don't want to get back into, all the religious crap that's going on over there in the Middle East, but I mean, it's part of it, and it's just the way that the powers that be, manipulate our through psychology, through, psychological operations and all. They know exactly what they're doing, and they create this whole dynamic. I mean, even to the effect now where, you got to worry about, they start getting people scared here in the United States again over, they're going to be these attacks, these terrorist attacks now on Jewish people and all this thing. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it's always just normal people trying to live a life, and like, what, now you got to be a target because they make labels and targets, and, the point is, somebody, they will do something. It won't be like, a regular person on the street who's just pissed off. It'll be, some, planned activity where they'll send people in calling them these terrorists, and they'll kill some people, and, and put everybody in fear here too. And then try to do whatever martial law or whatever lockdowns, because they're blowing up shit in the country. It's just like, but they do it, because no normal human being, is looking to fight with other people. I just don't think we're even built or designed to outwardly, try to impose, violence on fellow man. It's just like, it's not like hardwired in our DNA to do it, so, but they create it, they make us do it, right? So anyway, they put us into positions where, I mean, we're not even really doing it, because it's nobody's like fighting each other all over the place. It's always these, schemes and orchestrated, atrocities that they put together, and that's generally how they do it, and they just scare the shit out of everybody else and keep everybody, locked down. So the power we have to have for ourselves is vitally important, and of course I mentioned in the beginning, if you missed the first part, go back, see part one. I was talking about the inspiration for this was the guy exercising, with his baby today, and so we do need to keep ourselves in good physical shape, number one, because of, the way the world is going. So you can't trust who's going to be out there and it's not even about who's going to be out there, whether you can get to a hospital, or it's not even about that. It's more so of, you see what's going on. You want to be able to be spry in a sense, right? Like, you don't know how the world is shaking up or what might happen. And, you don't want to be like half an invalid, and you can't do anything to defend yourself, protect yourself, move if you have to move. I'm not saying like to be scared. I'm just trying to say it makes sense, right? To be like a functioning human body that can take care of yourself, right? And not have to depend on somebody else to come over and wipe your ass or some kind of thing like that. So it's important to stay in shape. So that's part of like, not making excuses was where that started from. But also in other regards too, of course, prepping, I think is a big one. And, just in general, not like it to be like a crazy prepper with like, a whole arsenal of weapons and 86 pounds of bags of rice and everything else. I mean, whatever is right. I mean, I think people should have some food. You should have some stuff stored up. You should have some bottled water. You should have, maybe an energy source, even if it's a propane tank grill or something, you just never know, right? So it's just being, it's just being proactive, right? Because you see what's going on in the world. And if all this shit shakes out, and you never know how it's going to impact, you're so used to just going to the store and get whatever you want here or there, but you might not be that convenient. You might not be able to have the selection of the things that you want. And the things that you do want might be in high demand and might cost a lot more, or might be hard to get, or whatever. So, be prepared. Have some batteries, have a couple flashlights, have a radio that, that you can plug in, and, a terrestrial real radio that you can listen to, and for information and such, and financially as well too. I mean, what do you have as far as, commodities or physical assets that are outside the system, so that, if all of a sudden this inflation shoots crazy and a gallon of milk is $10,000 or some kind of crazy thing, like, what do you have to protect yourself against? People work hard, they put money into the stocks and all this kind of thing, and looking to build their little nest egg in retirement. And then again, the system is about not wanting you to succeed. So they're taking everything all day long, all through your whole life while you're working and putting your money away. They're spending it and doing whatever. They don't even really have the money to back it up. And if they decide to pull the plug one day, then that's it, right? They pull the plug, and and then you're left basically with nothing. And I think I made another. What was the other thing I wanted to know? I said the financial. Yeah, and just being responsible for your own well-being, which I kind of just said with the self-care thing. And it's just really important. Really important to be aware of yourself, who you are, right? And just like knowing your surroundings, like situational awareness, know what's going on in the world, and being responsible for yourself, not looking for others, to fix everything, or to, make the problems go away, or you can't hide your head, in the sand and then just wait for, we're going to hold your breath, and one day you're going to poke your head up and everything's going to be fine, right? So anyway, I mean, those are the basic concepts of where I was going today. My flow got a little thrown off there with the video getting cut, but we got part one and we got part two, and the point of both parts basically is the same point of everything that we try to do here on Operation Status Quo is, we're observing what's going on in the world. I mean, I can't say it to you, to think a certain way or to see things in a certain way, and which I don't want to do that because everyone sees how they are meant to see. My main thing is just to encourage people to be aware that there are other things to be aware of, right? Like not to lock yourself into one little space all the time, and to be open to, just really be realistic. Everybody wants to fight, especially with this stuff. Again, I'm going back to this because this Middle East thing is just crazy, and the way people are angry and fighting over this, and you see the emotional level of people. I just don't understand like how it's amazing. It really is amazing how programmed society is, and you just don't realize it. It's so subtle. It's through the messages in the commercials. It's through the messages in the songs. It's through the messages in the sports. It's in the Hollywood. Just the way they put the news on, and the way they couch things and say things all the time. It's just this very subtle, constant programming of like, this is what this, and the path almost gets like narrower and narrower, like all the way through, and it's just like they just keep, chopping off extra little pieces and keeping this thought. And if like you don't go along with whatever they're saying, this mainstream stuff, like you're like a crazy radical. That's what I just don't understand. Like, humanity really, it's a beautiful thing. We're creators, we're manifestors. There's so much here in this world that, for us to explore and to share with one another. And we're spending all our time like this, like even, military blowing stuff up, killing people, locking people down with the fake pandemic, just goes on and on and on. The atrocities over, 9/11, I'm just saying everything, right? It's just constant atrocities. Our whole debt-based, monetary system designed to basically keep you poor. I mean, you keep using the same dollar and it keeps going down in value. They don't put more taxes on anything, right? What do they do instead? Inflation, right? So they just increase the price of everything, but they make it like, they don't give you a raise. They don't raise taxes. I'm still making X amount of dollars, but now they're charging you an extra 4, 5, 6, 7% for everything that you used to purchase. So all of a sudden it is like being taxed. They're taking the money in a different way. I don't think people are just aren't open, to these ideas. It's not like a system and these people are actually leaders and this system is really how it is. And we just got to fix things. And, they're never going to fix anything. The only thing they fix is making it worse. It's always about more restrictions. There'll be some sort of, event, the false flags. I hate to even say it on YouTube, whatever they do, and it creates, and that creates the space, for them to basically put more restrictions. Just like 9/11 is always the best example. They blew up those buildings on purpose, knew what they were doing, and then they create this whole thing around it's ISIS and terrorism, and then we're in Afghanistan for 20 years, and now we barely got out of there, and now we're back over. It's just a crazy thing. And this one thing happened. Everything this has been going on in Ukraine for all this time, like and one thing happens in Israel, and like all of a sudden. And it's 2 aircraft carriers and all. And believe me, people, this is not any one way or the other about anything. It's just more of just realizing this stuff is done on purpose, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they want to be there, for multiple reasons. I'm sure it could also put them closer to, being able to bring the U.S. forces into that area, closer to Russia and everything else too. So, it's a lot deeper. It's not just like these guys hate Jews and they decided to go, behead some kids. And, it's not that, it's not some radical group that just hates and they decided, they're bred for it. There's people breeding these people and creating this organization to purposely do that, because it's an unfathomable atrocity, so of course it's going to get people worked up, and they know that, and that's why they do it. That's why they do it. And these people that are controlling your pocketbook, that are controlling your everyday life, basically are the ones that are doing these things, committing these atrocities purposely to gain further control over your life and manipulate the mindset of the population even more. So no excuse for excuses, because we know better now. I think, and whatever your stance is on anything, it's fine. All I'm saying is you just be aware, and we can't count on these people anymore. Again, these structures are collapsing and we're building new. So let's just do it. Let's just start ground zero, and, go inside and find what's right for you and build your life locally, do the best for you, your family, your community, and forget about, all these outside sources that are trying to manipulate. We allow them, to do this, right? Because now everybody's going to be all, we got to go in there and kill them all and rah, rah, rah. And, not for anything, killing's killing no matter what, right? So that's how I feel about it, personally. And anybody who's a real leader or a genuine heart, I'm not saying there's not some sort of retribution that needs to be paid, or these people shouldn't be whatever for what they did. But at the same time, I remember when I was in school, there was a girl that was, against. She used to wear the buttons that said "fur is dead." She was all, one of those kind of hippie types, and which is true, really, too, about the fur is dead. Killing animals for a coat, But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But she also used to wear a button that said, "Why do we kill people? To show people that killing people is wrong." And listen, I'm not going to get down a whole thing today, but obviously, somebody's got to take a high road somewhere, but they don't want to take a high road. There is no high road. They're evil. They're evil. I'm sorry to say it. These leaders, I don't care, the United States, Israel, Russia, China, all the countries, it's all about oppression and it's all manipulation. So, I'm always sorry for everybody who, suffers any tragedies or lost people. And, it's always the normal everyday people just trying to live their lives that are caught up in the middle of a bunch of shit. And, they're always perpetuating some sort of racism, whether it be, African Americans, and now, back to Jews, anti-Semitism. It's just always. And, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know many people that really hate people. I don't, so but they build it. And they want to build the hate. And I don't know, it is what it is. I'm just a simple guy living a simple life, trying to send a simple message to other simple people. Let's keep it simple, please. But anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I got for you here today. No excuse for excuses. Be vigilant, be aware, and take steps to, build the life you want to live, because we're at the precipice. This is it. The next, obviously this is going to blow up into whatever. It's going to carry through 2024. I don't know how long all this shit's going to go on, but a good couple of years, it's going to take time to shake all this stuff out and build fresh. But, the truth of how we're being manipulated and the evil that's, being perpetrated in our world has to be exposed, and people have to be enough people that really, really believe it and understand it and see it, before any meaningful change will come. Because we're always going to have a group of people that are going to be brainwashed bots. It just is what it is. It's part of the, experience of humanity. Some souls are not going to, rise up, and other souls are. So it just is what it is. So, but we, the more people that are living that other way, we create the other way to live. And we don't have to, if these people want to be bots and, be slaves of a system, let them go do it. Let them go do it. But, I don't know what they're going to do, because the system's going to be gone. We're going to start fresh, So anyway, that's what I have for you here today. I apologize again for the technical difficulties. So this is part 2. You can go back and check out part 1. Either way, maybe check out part 2 first and then part 1. See if they mix together well. I don't know what to say about that. But I hate when my computer, I shouldn't say hate, I don't hate, but I strongly dislike when that kind of happens and messes up my flow. But it won't stop me from being here with you, the beautiful people of the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, let me go back over here so I can do my little goodbye blue sky. So anyway, I love you guys out there. I do, individually as well as a group, so just stay strong. I love you. God bless. All right, please like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Status Quo disengaged.
Boulevard of 10 short blocks.